Have you checked your bank account today? Because if you haven't yet, you just might be in for a surprise. Yes, the IRS has finally started sending out those long-awaited $1,400 payments. And for many people on SSI, SSDI, and other federal benefits, that money is hitting their accounts right now. That's not speculation. That's not a rumor. That's real, confirmed, and already happening. So if you're someone who's been struggling, waiting, and wondering when help is finally going to come through, this is a moment you've been hoping for. And the good news is you're not alone. Thousands of people across the country are already reporting fresh deposits from the IRS, labeled as economic impact payments or recovery rebates, directly linked to the $1,400 stimulus. This is real money for real people, finally making its way into the hands of those who need it the most. But there's also confusion, as there always is with anything involving the IRS. People are asking who's eligible. Why now? Why $1,400? And perhaps most importantly, what do you have to do to make sure you're not left out? We all remember the original $1,400 stimulus that was passed as part of the American Rescue Plan back in 2021. That money went out to millions of Americans during the pandemic, and for many, it was a lifeline. But what a lot of people don't know is that some of that money never made it to everyone it was supposed to reach. Tens of thousands of eligible people never received their full payment. Why? In some cases, it was due to outdated IRS records. In others, it was a result of people not being required to file taxes, and therefore falling through the cracks. And for many folks on SSI, SSDI, or veterans benefits who don't normally file a tax return, they were left out despite being eligible. So here's where today's news comes in. After pressure from advocacy groups, government audits, and internal investigations, the IRS has acknowledged that certain groups were missed in prior distributions of stimulus funds. And now they're making it right. As of today, the IRS has begun issuing supplemental $1,400 payments to correct those errors. And if you're eligible, your money may already be in your account or on the way. Now here's the thing. This isn't a new stimulus. Let's be clear about that. This is the original $1,400 stimulus from 2021. But it's finally reaching the people who should have gotten back then and didn't. In IRS terms, these payments are called plus-up payments or recovery rebate corrections. And that means if your original payment was missed, underpaid, or simply never processed, this correction is your chance to finally receive the money you were owed. But how do you know if you qualify? Let's talk about it. If you were receiving SSI, SSDI, VA, or Railroad Retirement benefits back in 2021, and you didn't receive the full $1,400 stimulus, you may be eligible for this corrected payment. The IRS is using a combination of SSA data and prior tax information were available to determine eligibility. Now here's the key detail. You do not need to do anything to apply. If you're on SSI or SSDI and didn't get your full stimulus amount, the IRS is automatically processing your payment based on your benefit information. You don't need to fill out any new forms. You don't need to call. You don't need to submit an application. But, and this is important, if your address, bank account, or payment method has changed since 2021, you'll want to make sure your information is current with the SSA or VA, whichever agency processes your benefits. We all know the economy is not easy right now. Groceries are up. Rent is through the roof. Utility bills are climbing. And for people on a fixed income, every dollar counts. So a deposit of $1,400 today can mean the difference between eating or skipping meals, between paying an electric bill or sitting in the dark, between refilling prescriptions or going without. This money is not just a handout. It's a lifeline. And for many, it's long overdue. The IRS has begun to include clear notations on these deposits. So if you check your bank statement and see a line that says IRS Trees 310, Taxi up 3, that's your $1,400. Some may also see recovery rebate or plus up noted, depending on the banking system. If you receive your benefits through Direct Express, You may also see the deposits show up there. Reports are coming in from all across the country, from people waking up this morning and seeing those funds sitting in their accounts. But if you haven't received yours yet, don't panic. The payments are being sent in waves, just like previous stimulus rounds. That means yours could come tomorrow or early next week. Paper checks and EIP debit cards are also being mailed out for those who don't use direct deposit. You will not lose this money if you're eligible. Even if you missed it in 2021, even if you never filed taxes, even if you've moved since then, if the IRS has determined you were owed this payment, you will receive it, but it may take a little bit of time to process. There's been a lot of confusion lately about additional stimulus, and for good reason. Some states are issuing their own relief checks. Some cities are providing rent assistance, food vouchers, or inflation bonuses, and that's a good thing, but it also creates a lot of mixed signals. This $1,400 is part of the Federal Economic Impact Payment Program from 2021, but the IRS is only now correcting past errors and making good on missed payments. It is not tied to current state relief efforts. However, if you live in a state like California, New Mexico, or Maine, you may also be receiving additional relief payments separately. So make sure to check both your federal and state sources to understand what you're entitled to. Step 1. Check your bank account. Look for any deposits labeled IRS, EIP, or recovery rebate. Step 2. Check your mail. If you don't use direct deposit, you may receive a paper check or debit card. Step 3. If you received a payment, great. If not, wait at least 1 week before contacting the IRS. Processing is ongoing. And finally, if you believe you were eligible and never received any part of the $1,400 stimulus, you may need to file a 2021 tax return to claim the recovery rebate credit. Even if you're not normally required to file taxes, doing so may be your only way to trigger the missing payment. There are free tools available, including the IRS Free File Portal, to help you do that. So don't leave money on the table. This system isn't perfect. It's complicated. It's bureaucratic. And yes, it's frustrating. But this new round of payments is a reminder that sometimes the government does make good on its promises, even if it takes a while. For seniors, veterans, the disabled, and those living on Social Security, this is a victory worth celebrating. You've been patient. You've waited. You've endured a lot of hardship. But now, some relief is finally arriving, and it couldn't come at a better time. So if you got your $1,400 today, tell us in the comments. Let others know it's real. And if you're still waiting, hold tight. Help is on the way. Before we wrap up, let me say this. We will keep following every update, every deposit, every statement from the IRS or SSA, so you don't miss a thing. You deserve to be informed. You deserve to get every dollar you're entitled to, and we're going to make sure that happens together. Now, if you found this information helpful, do one thing before you go. Smash that like button so more people can find this video and get the help they need. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because tomorrow, next week, next month, we'll be right here with every update you need on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, stimulus news, and retirement payments. We're in this together. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay strong, and check your bank account, because today might just be your day.